Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news, and that is why we lead with the thumbnail Glazers out. What is the point in doing a news show if you don't deliver the news that matters most to your football club? And yes, there's talks of Antony and Gakpo. Yes, they're going to unveil Casemiro on the pitch today. And yes, there will be stories about Jong and everything like that, which we will discuss. But let's see it for what it is. Today is the opportunity. I don't think the Glazers are going to sell tonight. And I don't think that if the protest doesn't have 1 million people there, it's a failure. This is a first step. Well, actually, it's not a first step. The protests have been going on for a long time. But it's the first step where we've known there are viable options to remove the Glazers. And the message must be clear tonight. It must be. And look, the principles are this. They're not my principles. They're not anybody else's principles. They've been set. Everybody knows what the plan is today. There will be a protest at Old Trafford from 7 o'clock tonight. Glazers out. If you're going to be there, that is the time to be there. There is also a pub called the Tollgate. It'll probably be very busy. You might not get into the Tollgate today. 5:30. 7 o'clock they're going to march down, and it's a massive opportunity for Manchester United fans to put that message out there. Look, everybody is saying, please don't let it be please let it be peaceful. We don't want to see what we saw last time with pitch invasions and vandalism and things like that, because the media will use that. You know, if there's one incident of vandalism, that will be the story across the media, because we know how the media works. This is about Glazers out. That's what this movement is all about. And if the Glazers or the media can put Manchester United in a bad light, then they will. I remember at the protest for the Super League, I was watching Alan Shearer and Jermaine Genius agreeing with each other, going, I don't know why United fans are protesting. The Glazers have spent £1 billion over the last 10 years. This is what happens in the media, because they can't be bothered to research the problem. I was on TalkSport last night talking about this, and people were going, well, you've spent £1 billion. I'm like, shut up. Go and watch EastEnders. If you don't understand what Man United fans are protesting about, stick your nose out of the beehive, because you'll get more than a nostril full of honey. You will get stung. We know why we protest. We know why we're not happy with the Glazers, and we know the issues that they've caused. I can't be bothered with anybody who's not educated. You don't even need to be a fan of Manchester United who's not educated on why we want the Glazers out. And the fact that, let's just go to the first bit of news this morning. The fact that Manchester United think this is a good idea just shows you. I mean, I feel sorry for Casemiro. Throwing Casemiro, who is a good signing, into this. I mean, this is just the football club to an absolute T. This is what they are. Unbelievable that they think unveiling Casemiro tonight in these circumstances is a good idea. It's just not fair on the player for a start. Like, so people are meant to be protesting outside, run inside and say, hey, Casemiro, we're back. Casemiro is a good signing. I think you need to, well, what I do is compartmentalise two things. I want the team to do well. I want Ten Hag to do well. I can't stand the way the club is run by the Glazers. They're two very, very separate things. If you put on my plate a plate of lasagna and a plate of mango, I'm going to just chuck the mango in the bin and eat the lasagna. So look, Manchester United team, I want it to do well. Ten Hag, I want it to do well. There's a very clear divide in that United Football Club between what the team does on the pitch and how the Glazers run the club. And unfortunately, the team on the pitch has become infected by the Glazers with some of the stupid signings they've made and decisions they've made. It's not Casemiro's fault. But unveiling Casemiro tonight did not need to happen. They didn't need to do that. We've not normally done that. We did it with Varane. We don't need to unveil players on the pitch. We haven't always done that. It's a new thing. It's a tactic. And basically, this is how out of touch Manchester United are. Every tweet they tweet at the moment seems to be out of touch. And effectively, putting Casemiro on the pitch today is just absolutely 100% protest outside, walk in and applaud our blood money. Applaud our desperate attempts to manipulate you. As Man United fans walk in, there should be someone with a stamp, mug, because that's what they think. They think you're going to protest about the Glazers outside and then applaud the Glazers spending money. Like, it's just, they don't read the room. They do not read the room. They've got no idea what they're doing, and effectively, I'm actually quite glad that they're unveiling Casemiro, because it shows you how out of touch this club is. And look, that's not just the Glazers, that's your PR, that's your communications, that's your CEO, that's your director of football. They'll all have signed that off just like they signed off bidding for Arnautovic. it's got to be called out at this point. And look, I've got no idea what's going to happen. Maybe the Glazers will be here for the next 15 years, and people have said to me, God, you've got no chance of ever getting into a press conference ever again, what you did on TalkSport last night and what you're doing on the United Stand. To which my reply is, and like any United fans' reply is, I don't care, because I would rather not have a relationship with the Glazers, Man United, and risk it all trying to get change at the club. I don't care. That's what, I'm not saying Man United fans are fighting for, change in society, but if you look back at protests in the past, people go and stand in front of tanks, people people do all sorts of things. We're just football fans trying to get our football club back. I'm not going to sit back and think, I want to keep the Glazers happy because they might give me an interview with Harry Maguire. Not bothered, because I'd rather have freedom of speech, and I think that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to express our unhappiness in relation to Manchester United. Welcome to Members Club, Dan. And conspiracy theory, Erik ten Hag quickly realised he wouldn't get the players he wanted and decided to stick with a team he knew couldn't work, says Scott. I doubt that. Hi, Mark. A Glazer out, Mark. I know we all for Glazers out, but signing players will help us boost our position on the log. What log are you on about, Neil? And Benjamin, welcome to the Members Club. And also, give me half of Shearer's wages and I spend half of it on him. Pocket the rest. Sign him up for debt and he better be happy with it, says Reeves. A couple of weird chats this morning. I don't know whether it's just they've not woken up properly, but we're talking about logs and halving Shearer's wages. So yes, tonight is a big night. We are playing Liverpool. Who knows what's going to happen? It's exciting as it is. I think it's one of those nights where you just don't know how it's going to go. I think that I think what will happen is it will just be a very, very big statement of the unhappiness with this club, and hopefully that's what we want to see around. What I want to see today is, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what you are as a Manchester United fan. Ultimately, we've all got an opportunity to, put that message out in whatever way we want to do it. And I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that this is the start of something because, as I said, look, I'll put my hands up. Maybe I've not been as vocal about. Look, I've always been Glazers out. I don't know where this. Somebody said to me yesterday, "Oh, you're just jumping on the bandwagon." I've been doing this for 7 years, and I've never not said Glazers out. So I don't know what that's all about. I ignore it actually because it's just divisive, and I'm not interested in divisive. Of course, people don't like each other who are United fans. Grow up. We all know that, but we all agree on Glazers out. So that should be the only thing we're talking about. And maybe, I'll put my hands up. I've never felt that the protests were going to work. Fair play. We've promoted it. We've spoken about it. There were the protests about the Super League, but I never thought they were going to work. Deep down, I never thought they were going to work because if you've not got a buyer, how are they going to work? How are you going to get United fans to buy Manchester United? I just don't, it wasn't going to work. Viable buyer now, I think a lot of people are like me where it's like, now's the time to go to work. This is it. This is the opportunity and it starts tonight. The Casemiro deal proves United can do quick deals. All the delays are mostly artificial and on purpose to minimise spend, says Michael. Feel sorry for Casemiro because we love to have him here. Oh no, Nicholas, everybody wants Casemiro. And Casemiro will be a good signing, but the Glazers are using Casemiro as a pawn in the game of chess with the Man United fans, and they are trying to say, you don't dare boo Casemiro, which nobody should do. So everyone's going to applaud Casemiro, and therefore the Glazers will be like, yes, we're winning already, get another one. Hi Mark, I just want to say thank you. You don't have to do what you do, putting your neck on the line. People should take note. I don't want them to take note, Hayden. It's not about that. There's a lot more people doing a lot more than me, and it's about putting that voice out because it's something that's important and everybody can play their part. And as I said weeks ago and as I said years ago, this platform is perfect for putting messages out that are important to this football club. The Glazers have dictated this fan base for 17 years. They've had the power, they've had the communications, they've had the money. They have dictated the mood of the fan base for 17 years. We're now in a position where we need to try and take that voice back, and we have got an opportunity to do it. And it's going to take persistence, and it's going to take bravery, and it's going to take a lot of more people getting involved. And look, some people won't. They might think, the bed I lie in is quite comfortable. I don't want to get kicked out of this bed. Across the journalistic world, across the Manchester United media world, across people who work in the club who really should be stepping out, As I said, ignorance is not an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's never been an excuse. In any dictatorship, ignorance is not an excuse. Go look through history. You can't live in a dictatorship and then at the end of it, when you've been invaded and taken over, go, I know what they were doing was wrong, but what could I do? You could do a lot. You could get out of that place. Yeah, so there's a lot that can be done. And I think at the end of the day, Judgment Day will come on this, and those who've helped will be applauded, and those who didn't will be, they'll benefit from the hard work that everybody's putting in. But I think more people need to get involved, definitely. Varane for captain, says Martin, and Avadash, welcome to the members club. Hope TalkSport didn't give you any stick for last night, says Jack. Not had any stick at all. What did I... It's a national radio show that I have, and I'm a Manchester United fan, and I knew it was an opportunity to, promote what's happening tonight and why it's happening tonight. Yeah, it ruffled a few feathers, but so what? I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered because I don't feel it's propaganda. Are we in debt? Yes. Have the Glazers taken billions of pounds out of the club? Yes. Have they run the football club badly? Yes. Have they wasted money? Yes. Have they recruited people who helped them buy the club who know nothing about football? Yes. Are we in the worst position we've ever been in the Premier League? Yes. Saying Glazers out and get out my football club is not controversial. Every fan of any club in the world that had them in charge would be doing exactly what we're doing. In fact, some clubs would do worse. You would not get away with this in Argentina. You would not get away with this in Italy. There are certain clubs where the Glazers are very lucky they are owning a club in England. I think we've got the best fans in the world. I think we've got the best vocal support in England by a long way. They are fantastic. I think the home support's not bad either. But I do think English fans are a little bit different to what they're like in Europe and South America. And I tell you what, the Glazers wouldn't be here. They'd have been gone 10 years ago. Because there's certain things that those types of fans will do that will... I mean, AC Milan emptied the stadium. And this is where we've gone wrong. People think you can empty the stadium in 2 weeks. Oh, just by going empty the stadium on people are still saying empty Old Trafford on Twitter. Bless them. Bless them. They're trying. But it actually does cause a bit of division because it's just frustrating people who are going, you're not going to empty Old Trafford, focused on the protest. But in fairness, it's a good idea. It's hard to happen, and you need everybody on board for it to happen. But AC Milan emptied their stadium. You can do it, but it takes a lot. So the Glazers are very lucky in some sense. Anyway, let's get on with the news. I just wanted to hit it the first 10 minutes because this is a news show, and that is the most important news. And we're going with Glazers out because, this is what today's going to be all about. It's my 18th birthday today, says Tegan. Well, happy birthday, 18th birthday. Happy birthday, Tegan. Hi, Mark. There are rumours apparently that Casemiro will have 4 trained bodyguards. He doesn't need them, goat. And George, there's nothing wrong with Casemiro. We all want players like Casemiro at Manchester United, but we also want the Glazers out more. And also we know what the Glazers have done with Casemiro. Let me tell you a story. This time last week, Manchester United weren't even interested in Casemiro. Talk starts about people wanting to buy Man United, and within 4 days, we've signed Casemiro. Call it for what it is. It's Glazer blood money. Morning, Mark. Can you get Alex Crook on the show? Says Mikael Roach. I'm sure we can do. And Parag, welcome to the members club. Thank you very much. Right, let's hit the latest news. Just remember, it is all tainted by the Glazers trying to spend money. Before we do that, Ten Hag has confirmed he spoke to all of his leaders when asked if he talked individually to Captain Harry Maguire about the issues of needing greater authority in the team. He's gone on to say that when the attitude is no good from the team, often the leaders are not there because they are the ones who give example and go in front. That is the point we have to work on. Well, I've got no sympathy with Ten Hag on this. Adam did a video this morning on changing the captain. This should have happened the minute Ten Hag walked in. I feel that Eric has my 100% support. I was saying this last night on TalkSport as well. I hadn't heard that Graham Souness had said about Ten Hag last week that already, the vultures are circling. And I was on it. I'd heard the clip just before I went live, and I said, I've got to say this on the radio. That Graham's just not in touch with United fans, and he's got every right to have an opinion, Souness, but he's got no idea what United fans are thinking. There is no United fan out there that is thinking, the clock's ticking on Ten Hag. Not a chance. Like, the support is with Ten Hag. The players and the Glazers and the board are the problem. But Ten Hag has made mistakes. There's talk that Varane and Martinez are going to play as centre-back tonight. Apparently Varane was a big part in Casemiro coming to Manchester United as well. Release Varane. Varane needs to play. He's the best centre-back we've got. He's got to play. And Maguire shouldn't play tonight. But I mean, why is Eric Ten Hag talking about leadership in the second game after the second game of the season, like he's found, you know, a lump of gold? Like, he's talking about the leadership not being good enough. Well, we already knew that. You've got a captain who can't lead. He can barely play, and you're now talking about leadership. Maguire never should have been the captain, and that's on Ten Hag. You know, he has made mistakes, and he will make mistakes. They're not mistakes that we're going to start going, he's not a good manager. I think he is. But the Maguire thing was a joke from the start. I wasn't happy with it. Many people weren't. But you've got to go with it for the new manager. And hopefully he will change that. They've built barricades around the ground for tonight. I think we're going to witness something very historical tonight, says Sean Turner. I think the barricades are around the Liverpool section, to be fair. I don't think they're not barricading, stopping fans turning up. That would be a stupid idea in tactics anyway, because that would be inflammatory, and United don't want that. United don't want the protests, but if they're peaceful protests, then they, publicly they will tolerate it. So it's all about that. Terence, welcome to the members club. Also, what worries me the most is the exceeding transfer budget, and Glazers might recover that from selling TV rights, says Storm. It bothers me that the Glazers are overpaying. It's our investments into the club. We love that. We've given them, and we expect it to be spent properly, says Decoy. And players from Real Madrid, Juve and PSG are easy to come to Man United even out of the top four, because one thing is common between owners, which is the Super League, says Jinish. Yes. Souness and Carragher are another planet, says Icky. So that's just a couple of things from Ten Hag there that I just wanted to bring into the show. There's some quite significant updates coming in from Telegraph, Marcel van der Kraan. I suppose the first thing to say is that Antony and Gakpo are targets for Manchester United. It's not a choice between the two. So, look, quick maths here. Very, very quick maths. Love your honesty and everything you say about Manchester United. Keep up the work, says C. James. Thank you very much. So, 50, let's say £50 million on Martinez, £60 million on Casemiro. That's £110 million. Okay, Malacia, but we bought Pereira, so I won't include him. We spent £110 million on Casemiro and Martinez, yeah? We're bidding for Antony. It's meant to be around 70 million, so that takes it up to 180 million, yeah? You then buy Gakpo for, what, 35? 225 million, and then they also potentially want De Jong, which we'll talk about in a minute, which would take it up to nearly 300. So suddenly Manchester United have gone from a spend of around 100 to somewhere between 200 and 300 in the space of a week. A week ago, we were looking at a net spend of about £100 million, and we're bidding for Rabiot and we're bidding for Arnautovic, and we're getting beaten by teams like Leipzig for Sesko and Werner. A week later, we're buying one of the best midfielders in the world from Real Madrid. We're spending €80 million on Antony, and that's going to go up. We also want Gakpo, and we're still in for De Jong. Make your own minds up what's going on there, but we've gone from a budget of 100 million to somewhere between 200 and 300 million in the space of a week. We've gone from bidding for shit players to suddenly bidding for world-class players. What changed last week? It's a question. What's changed last week to take us from a budget of 100 and bidding for Arnautovic to somewhere between 200 and 300 and bidding for Casemiro? We've tripled our transfer budget in the space of 3 days last week. Why? I'll tell you. Because the Glazer out movement got momentum because somebody wants to buy the club who are way better than the Glazers. And they've crapped themselves. And that's what it is. Casemiro on the pitch today. Antony unveiled today or tomorrow. De Jong bid later this week. It's just completely what it is. The Glazers are trying to spend themselves out of problems. And sometimes life's very, very simplistic. And what can't speak can't lie. We did bid for Arnautovic. We did hold talks with Rabiot for 8 days. John Murta was pictured in Turin. United can't pretend that didn't happen. They would love to say, we were always after Casemiro. We were always going to buy Antony. The budget was always 300 million quid. But it wasn't. It wasn't. Because we spent all summer trying to sign De Jong. We did fly to Turin for Rabiot. And we did bid for Arnautovic. The transfer budget, and this is disgusting by the way, the transfer budget for Manchester United's transfer window was £100 million for 95% of it. And for 95% of the transfer window, our recruiters and CEOs and director of football has been working to a budget of £100 million. Somebody said they'd buy the club, and in the last week and a half of the transfer window, the Glazers have gone, we've tripled your transfer budget, get the best players in the world quickly. even if you're happy that Casemiro, Antony and everyone else is coming to Manchester United or potentially coming to Manchester United, look at it like that. Who runs a football club like that? For 95% of the transfer window, you're working with a budget of 100 million when you need a budget of 300 million. When the season starts and someone tries to buy the club and there's a week and a half left, you've got 300 million. Go! Supermarket sweep. Absolutely terrible way to run a football club. Knee-jerk reaction. This sort of ownership will lead to failure because they've got no structure. It's panic. And this is why I worry about going bankrupt. This is why I worry about what happens next summer, because they'll spend nothing. You know, with the Glazers, if they give you money now, they're going to take it back from you next week. That's how it works. Oh, have it, have it, and then they'll be back. They will be back. So look, United want to sign Antony and Gakpo. This is coming in from The Telegraph. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I don't know. The Jong deal optimises the Glazer ownership, strung us along for another month, endlessly, only to face disappointment, says Clarkey. If the board was competent and did this early, we could have got them for less. Exactly, SK. And if we got them earlier, we wouldn't have lost 6 points. We'd have got them cheaper. Great point. Maybe Erik ten Hag was given the previous regime the benefit of the doubt by keeping Maguire as captain. And Erik ten Hag, we trust. Glazers out, says Braden. Look, I think Ten Hag's made mistakes. You know, no manager should ever have picked McTominay and Fred again, and he did. No manager should be benching Varane for Maguire, and he did. He should have gone with Malacia over Shaw. He should have benched Bruno. But he's also been massively hindered. Paul says, always excited to see United play Mark, but I'm genuinely worried Liverpool might batter us unless Erik ten Hag makes some changes, says Paul. We've got Fabrizio Romano on the show at 1:30, by the way, so we'll be able to get the latest on all this transfer stuff anyway and what's really actually happening, so don't miss that at 1:30. But do I think we're going for Antony and Gakpo? I think Fabrizio did say yesterday that it's one or the other, so it'd be interesting to see what he says. But there is still this rumour that we're going for both. And look, I will just talking about transfers for a couple of minutes. I don't know whether thanks everyone who tunes in to the Transfer Hub on TalkSport. It is on YouTube every Sunday night at 8 o'clock and on national radio. It was a good show last night. We got some really good callers in. But I did upset a few people with my approach to Ajax, mainly non-United fans, because basically what I said is that Ajax are keeping Antony prisoner and they should let him go. To which I got a lot of replies, which to be fair, I agree with. They said, you sanctimonious prats, what right have you got to sit there and tell Ajax what to do? He's a player under contract, they don't have to sell. Yeah, I still stand by what I said. You've got a point, well done. Applaud yourself, you've made a point, and it's not a bad point, but my point still stands. Ajax have sold most of their team from last year and their managers left. It's a rebuild. The Ajax team of the last three years under Ten Hag has disappeared. They've sold it willingly. They've let Haller go, Gravenberg's gone, Martinez has gone, the keeper's gone, the right back's gone. They've sold more than half of that team willingly. Antony wants to go and they're saying, no, you're not going. We've offered way over Antony's value. No, you're not going. I don't think that's fair. A club can do what they like. Of course they can. And people can sit there and go, wow, a club doesn't have to sell if they don't want to. No, they don't. But there's something called fairness. And if you're Antony and you've told them all summer, I want to go to Man United, and they've said, we're not selling you, at what point does that become wrong? You know, if Ajax had kept the team together from last year and said, we're not selling anybody, we don't need to sell anybody, you're not for sale. That's very different to, yeah, we'll sell you, but we're not selling you. And then Antony would go, well, wait a minute, what's my motivation here? I've been at the club for the last 2 years. We've had loads of success. It was a good team. I understood the team, teammates. We all knew each other. We had a really good team. This season, it's a brand new manager and it's a brand new team. You're asking me to be part of a new project. I don't want to be. I want to be like Gravenberg. I want to go. Why won't you let me go? And that's what my point is. Of course Ajax don't have to sell. And of course fans can say, Goldbridge is talking out of his arse. The club can do what it likes. But I actually think my opinion's valid. Why are Ajax saying to Antony, you're not going, when we're paying ridiculous money for him and they have sold half that team? It's not. I don't think that's right. I don't think that they can do it, but I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair if half my team goes and then they say you're not going because we want you to stay. Well, hold on a minute. It's not like I've got every right to want to go. You've sold half my teammates and let them go off to Bayern Munich and wherever, but I've got to stay and be part of something that I'm not going to be part of long term, because I know you're going to sell me next year. So you're basically using me for a year. Let me go. But look, do I think Antony will happen? I know that terms have been broadly agreed. We spoke about that yesterday, but I don't know whether Man United will go back in. 80 million euros is already too much. Man United might walk, in which case Antony's been played by United as well, hasn't he? So I think from Antony's point of view, he needs the deal to happen, but you never know with United. You just don't know. I don't think we're in for both. Wait and see what Fabrizio says at lunchtime. I don't think we're in for both. I think we need to be in for both. We do need 2 attackers, but I don't think we are. Mark, would you make out with Maguire to get Glazers out, says Charlie? And Antony is now crucial to Ajax. They are 15th and have lost a lot of players. He's priceless to them, says Peter. Yes, but Peter, that is a completely selfish stance. That is like a marriage where one person is unhappy and the other person loves them and won't let them leave. You can't force, well, you can, but it's wrong. It's wrong to force somebody to stay who doesn't want to be there and actually has every right to go, considering the previous actions of Ajax, not just this summer, but every other summer. But look, that's just an opinion. That's just an opinion. And also, let's not forget, I think it's Sao Paulo get 20% of the fee as well. So if Ajax get 67 million, they're only getting 52. Because Sao Paulo get 20%, which is probably why the price is going up a little bit as well. Anyway, that's the latest on Antony. As I said, same journalist, Marcel van der Kraan, The Telegraph. We've heard a lot from Mike Verwey and Marcel van der Kraan this summer, ever since we got Ten Hag, obviously being Dutch journalists. But Manchester United, once again, will try to sign Frenkie de Jong this summer. Interesting, isn't it? Sometimes you get very interesting information, conflicting information, should I say. Can you give me a shout out, Mark, says Binet? So yeah, I did a video. God, I lose track of the days. I think it was Friday, wasn't it? Friday at 4 o'clock, I did a video saying that De Jong was still an interest for Manchester United, and it was just after Casemiro had been announced. And then on the evening, we got, I think it was an 8 o'clock announcement from Man United that pending a medical, Casemiro was officially a United player. And then at about 8:10, I think it was Laurie Whitwell, maybe Simon Stone came out saying that almost ends Man United's interest in De Jong, and you felt, well, that's coming from the club. But the interesting thing is, I still, literally 3 hours before that, had been told that Man United is still in for De Jong. I think it had come from the Mirror as well, who are very close to the Ten Hag situation, and we're still getting that information coming through. And there's still, and then there's so much going on. Today has to be about the Glazers. It's got to be about that 100%. That's why we've led on it. But beyond that, and hopefully this will continue for a long time until we get them out, but the De Jong thing still needs to be answered. We've spent all summer chasing De Jong, and there is still no answer on De Jong. Barcelona still apparently want him to take a pay cut, or they'll sell him. Chelsea were bloody dreadful yesterday. Is he just going to end up at Chelsea? That'd be massively embarrassing for Manchester United. Yes, Casemiro's a good signing, but if De Jong goes to Chelsea, it's disgusting, because this is the player that Ten Hag wants above all others, and Casemiro is not De Jong. Very different style of player. So the De Jong story is still yet to be written, and Manchester United need to still be in that story. Look, whatever they've done with Casemiro, they do still need to be in the De Jong story. And I think the only outcome that is that's not the worst outcome is he goes to Chelsea, because it mugs United off. We look completely useless if he goes to Chelsea. If he stays at Barcelona, we still look useless, but he's not left. But Man United have still got to be in that race for De Jong. And as I say, in the world we're in at the moment, where the Glazers have just suddenly produced 200 million quid, God knows how that's going to get paid back, by the way. I just don't know. I still think De Jong could well be a Manchester United player. And the challenge will become then, when you start to envisage a team with Casemiro and De Jong in the midfield and Antony off the wing, suddenly that team is looking a lot stronger. Results improve. Does that save the Glazers? That's basically the plan. As I say, football's very simplistic. The Glazers are trying to pack that team with world-class players so the results improve, because when the results improve and the winning team pictures come out again, this is when Man United work well. When Man United are winning, Man United work well. You get the head of social media out behind the goal at Old Trafford with his camera phone next to Ronaldo. You get winning team pictures. You get loads of positivity. Man United is a team and a brand that is brilliant when things are going well. You can't fight against Man United's commercial drive and branding and graphs when they're doing well. You can't. Have we ever seen a strong Glazer out movement when the team's doing well? And this will be discussed every hour, every minute by Man United and the Glazers at the moment. How do you kill a Glazer out movement? Because they've only ever done well when the team's not really doing that well. So spending money, getting the team good on the pitch, good results, good football, they know that will kill it. And I don't know that won't happen, to be honest, but which is why we need to work hard if we want change. Glazers would need to say it's not for sale because of stock, so it's definitely for sale. Also, do you think they spend big to up the price, says Will? I think they're spending big for the reason I've just said. To be honest, Mark, we're also doing the same with Ronaldo, what Ajax are doing with Antony, says Jay. Jazz says, you're everywhere these days, Mark. TalkSport United Stand, Mark Goldbridge, that's football everywhere. God bless, take care, says Top G. To be honest, okay, I want to talk about the Ronaldo one. Someone between Dumb and Dumber have seriously pissed Ajax, hence they refuse to deal with us, says Ray. Yeah, look, I like Ajax as a football club. There's no doubt that they're pissed off with Manchester United, and I bet they'd rather sell Antony to anybody rather than us at the moment. But does the Ronaldo situation compare to the Antony situation? No. I say no, because nobody is offering us 40 million for Ronaldo. That's basically what we're doing for Antony. We're nearly offering double what he's worth. So one, we're offering ridiculous money for Antony. No one's offering us ridiculous money for Ronaldo. So they're not similar. Two, Antony has gone on strike. He didn't play yesterday and he didn't train the last 2 days. Ronaldo's never done that either. So, again, it's too simplistic to say the Ronaldo and the Antony situation is the same. And let's not forget, Ronaldo has said that 95% of what's been written about him is lies as well. He's never come out publicly. He's never ducked training. I know he didn't go on the tour, but the reason for that is very different to what people think. So, no, the Ronaldo and Antony situation is very, very different. And it fundamentally it's different because we haven't got somebody coming in offering ridiculous money for him, have we, either? Canish says, if Sir Jim now comes and says United are trying to be competitive in the last week, which they should have done for the last 10 years, it'll be the final nail in the coffin, says Canish. Welcome to the Members Club, Luke, as well. Let's just have a quick look if there's anything else I need to bring you news-wise. We spoke about that. We've spoken about that. Contact with Antony's agents as a deal now depends on this. Romano has said that Cody Gakpo's camp is in direct contact with Manchester United for 2 weeks. He's always been on United's list and has the same age as Erik ten Hag. He's also said that Manchester United are in contact with Antony's agents as a deal now depends on Ajax decision. Key days ahead. I think that the Antony decision needs to be made very, very quickly, by the way. I did hear the manager. I don't know what Ajax fans think of the new manager, by the way, but he's not Ten Hag. He doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence, to be fair. And basically, he came out and said, I'll talk to him when the transfer window's closed. Like, he's just absolutely adamant that he wants to keep an unhappy player at the club. However, they are progressing talks with Ziyech, and if they buy Ziyech, then he is very logically a replacement for Antony. So look, I think we'll get somewhere very, very soon with what's happening with Antony, and we do need to get there very soon with that, don't we? Because we are very much looking at a week on Thursday and the transfer window closes. I mean, we've not really spoken about the game tonight, have we? Will the game happen tonight? I've heard a lot of people saying, do you think the game will get called off? I don't even want to give an answer on that because I don't really want to be predicting whether a game goes ahead or not. If the game gets called off, Liverpool will be given the points. Jurgen Klopp said it at the weekend, and he's probably right. He said, look, the season's too busy. You've got a World Cup, Champions League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, congested season. There's absolutely no way the game could get cancelled and then replayed. So he would want the points for Liverpool, which he'll probably get if the game goes ahead anyway. So I don't want the game to get cancelled. I don't think anybody wants the game to get cancelled as far as we know. I don't think there's any plans to do anything about that. I think it's a peaceful protest, but obviously it's a possibility. It happened before. and we would lose those points. But I think on the pitch tonight, when the whistle blows, we're looking at improvement. I don't think we're looking at a win. I don't even think we're looking at a draw. We're looking at improvement with the knowledge that our season probably starts against Southampton on Saturday. We're probably starting the season like Arsenal did, 3 losses in a row, and hopefully a bounce back from there. But if the game does go ahead today and we do get a point or even grab a win, that would be a huge boost to Ten Hag. And there are 2 different things going on here. I want Man United to win tonight. I want Ten Hag to do well. This is the manager I and many of you wanted, and I want him to do well. But I also want the Glazers out way more than that. I want them to go. I want the football club. And many people would say, well, why is this so important to Manchester United fans? And I mean, there are so many analogies for this, but at the end of the day, it's like being in a relationship with somebody for 17 years and they've basically locked you in a cupboard. You know, they've deprived you of life and experience and enjoyment and expressing yourselves and, you know, doing the things everybody else does. We've been locked in a cupboard for 17 years and we've been, you know, fed bullshit like mushrooms, fed on shit. That's what's happened. And whether the Glazers feel they've done that or whether rival fans or media think they've done that, United fans, we feel that, and perception is everything. It's the journey of the victim that's important when you're talking about this. And we feel we've been victimised by the Glazers. We've been locked in a cupboard for 17 years, and we want to come out of the cupboard. We want to be a football club again. And no United fan is saying we've got to win the Premier League every year, but we really should be competing for the Premier League every year. We're nowhere near doing that. That's a dream at the moment. We need Manchester United to be back as a football club competing. And even if we were back competing, we know it would be very difficult to compete with the PSGs and the Bayern Munichs and the Man Cities and the Liverpools of this world. But we've got no chance under the Glazers. Basically, United fans just want to be Manchester United again. We want to wake up in the morning and know that we're not in debt, that we haven't got owners that are just trying to get the next brand deal to boost their dividends, that we've got owners that wake up in the morning and have the same aspirations and dreams and hopes that we have, that owners that wake up in the morning and go, why is Harry Maguire captain? Why is Bruno still playing? Why are we putting in a performance like that? And I don't for 1 second think Joel and his brothers and sisters wake up and go, God, what are we going to do about Rashford? Why did we give Bruno a new contract? Like, I just don't think they have thoughts like that, and that's what we want. We want the football club back as a football club. Fan ownership and all like that, great idea, not that bothered about it at the moment. I just want the Glazers gone, and I'd be happy to have an owner like other clubs do, whether it's Chelsea or Newcastle or Man City. I know there's morals behind that, but all I'm saying is, in a very simple way, I'd be very happy to replace the Glazers tonight with new owners who don't give us any fan ownership, but are fans who want us to be successful and they're not in it for profit. I would take that like that. And then in the future, if you had owners like that, they'd probably be open to doing fan ownership anyway. But we need to remove the Glazers first. If we suffer a heavy defeat tonight, it would be more beneficial because more focus would turn to the Glazers, says Clarkey. And could Sir Jim speaking and igniting this Glazer out movement make them choose other buyers over him? Yeah, he's got to be careful, Daniel, definitely. 100%, he's got to be definitely like that. But the challenge, I wouldn't even think beyond tonight. I think the challenge has to be to just take it every day, day by day. And, you know, my fear is they do buy Antony, they do buy Jong, they do buy Gakpo. They've already bought Casemiro. The shirt sales start. Everybody starts getting excited. We get a result tonight. We beat Southampton. We beat Leicester. We beat Arsenal. You know, suddenly in 2 weeks, we've bought 3 or 4 world-class players. We've had 3 or 4 wins, and you know the Glazers have won, or have they? I'm not so sure. 4 wins in a row and four more signings turns this fan base anymore. I've never been so proud of our fan base, and I think everybody feels this. On Friday, when they're announcing one of the world's best midfielders and Glazers out, it's just all over. It's like, we know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. Who do you think you are? You know, so maybe this time it is different, and I think it has to be different because it is different. We've never had a viable buyer for the club before, and we have, and that makes a big difference. Anyway, look, we're going to be back at 1:30. We'll be able to give you all the updates on what's going on with Ajax and Antony and Gakpo and PSV and Jong. And every other right back story and who's going to leave and all that. We'll be able to bring you all that at 1:30 because we've got Fabrizio on the show. We'll do it live at 1:30, so join us for that. And then obviously tonight's the big night. We will be live. Who knows what is going to go on tonight, but we will have it covered for you. We'll have the normal watch along. We'll have footage of what's going on as well, and we need to get that message out. So if you're not able to be there tonight for whatever reason, and let's be honest, 99% of the fan base won't be there because we've got loads of fans worldwide, then the important thing for you is obviously tune into the watch along tonight. Keep an eye on our socials at United Stand MUFC and others, and keep putting that message out. Let's own the internet tonight on the message of what we want. Can we address the fact that any takeover would probably be a 2-year plus process, just like how the Glazers took over? Slow acquisition of stock and voting rights. It doesn't happen overnight, says Scott. Yeah, it could take ages, or it could happen quickly. We'll have to, but it won't happen at all. It will take 20 years if it never happens. Thanks everyone. Speak to you in a bit. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner, smash a like on the video, and don't forget to tune in at 1:30. All the latest transfer, what's goings on with Fabrizio. Speak to you in a bit.